Well, good evening and welcome to It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay television show. And it's 8 p.m., it's Wednesday night. We know what that means. It's August 5th, 2020. And you are watching another episode of It's Happening Out, the world's most popular live gay LGBT television show. I'm your host and moderator, Al Ferguson, and welcome, America. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight, and it's a highlight of our week. This is an entertaining show. So let's begin right out of the gate with happening now breaking news. We are reporting all of the news that is going on in COVID, and we've watched the president this week. And so I'm just opening the door in terms of kind of a summary of what we've watched this week in COVID. We've had 6 straight days of over 1,000 deaths. I want to introduce our host along with us. And at home is Power Infiniti. And good evening, Power, and Aaron Phoenix. And here in our studio in Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Chef Josie. And also Misty Eyes. So what have you all thought about what we've watched this week in terms of COVID, the president, the craziness, voting, elections? Did you hear, by the way, in relation to COVID, it's okay to have COVID and vote by mail in Florida, only because we've done such a good job with the last 2 Republican governors?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Any thoughts this week?
Who wants to go first here? Because I'm willing to, open up the stage. I heard someone talking, but I can't tell who. All right, I'll go. So,
Mr. Chair.
The reality is that, we already know, we know that Donald Trump is a disaster. That is no new news. November 3rd couldn't come soon enough. We already know that. But we have a president right now who is sitting in the White House who says, oh, there's not really anything we can do about it. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Remember that at the polls November 3rd.
Anything else anybody wants to say about the president this week or COVID? Our happening now gives us an opportunity kind of in free form this week to be able to say anything we want. Anybody else want to add anything?
No, I'm just saying if he's modeling yeah, right. And if he's modeling anything after the behavior of the Florida governor, then we're really screwed, because that dude hasn't done shit that makes any sense this whole epidemic.
Yeah. So. Well, and you have a pair. Donald Trump said yesterday that the reason we can vote in his home state of Florida is because Governor DeSantis is doing such a fantastic job, and because the previous governor, Rick Scott, who is now our U.S. Senator in Florida, did such a fantastic job. And between the 2 of them, everything is perfect here in Florida.
Perfect.
Wouldn't it be wonderful
Beautiful.
if Trump lost Florida, and after he finished saying that voting by mail is so wonderful because he feels assured that Florida will do such a perfect job. Remember that if you lose Florida, bitch, we did a perfect job.
And I guess I'll let that be the soundbite before we start our opening. But interesting on Power's observation. The reason why Donald Trump and the Republicans are so pro mail-in voting in Florida is because the Republicans outvoted the Democrats in 2016 in mail-in voting in Florida. As of today, the Democrats are ahead by 60,000 votes in mail-in voting.
I've already
so
voted.
Listen to the milestone that Power Infiniti just gave you, because likely it's going to come true on November 30. So good evening again, America. You are watching
November 3rd.
3rd.
November
30th.
Don't vote on the 30th.
You said 30th.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said November 30th?
That's okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
we
vote
know
on
you
the
meant.
30th, y'all.
Third. Don't worry, I'll
November
remind you every
30th.
week until then.
Every week we're going to write. Okay, thank you very much. Donald Trump gave me $20 to do that. You are watching.
You took it, and you took it.
I took it too. Come on,
You are
School of
Republican.
Economics. My worthless degree, by the way. You are watching the world's most popular live gay TV show. So many of the topics that are important to you, the stories. Next on It's Happening Out.
This week on It's Happening Out.
In front of reporters, Representative Yoho called me, and I quote, a fucking bitch.
our new game, Saved by the Bell. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Special guest host, Misty Eyes. With your host, reality TV star, Chef Josie. Trans activist, Aaron Phoenix. DJ Diva Power Infiniti. And our moderator, Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
Well, let's have some fun. Remember, we are live. This is an unedited show. It's unedited. So whatever ridiculousness you're going to hear out of these people, you're going to hear it. Anything can happen. This is, as we told you, the world's most popular live gay TV show. Last week in YouTube alone, we had like 130,000 people watch the show. Thank you very much. And how we do that is by liking and sharing us and letting your friends and family know about It's Happening Out. We always joke, we're kind of like The View with a whole lot of gay people and a whole lot less testosterone. That's pretty much what It's Happening Out is all about.
The View has testosterone.
So we encourage you to do a watch party. Watch this. And apparently we're not going to watch this this
Live.
week.
That was a watch party. We all just had a
By the way, to production, I told you, America, this is live and unedited. Strike two to
We'll cut
production,
that.
by the way. Strike two. I just want to say
We
we're
find
going
ways
to
to
keep
connect in these times of COVID.
right.
Yeah.
Keep track tonight.
Watch and subscribe.
Let's have some fun and let's get right out of the gate by doing the meme of the week. It's the first thing that we do always at the top of It's Happening Out. It kind of gives us a nice little transition. It takes a little time for power to warm up, so it's a nice way for us to do it. Our meme of the week this week is called When a Guy with No Rhythm. Wait, did y'all write this about me? When a guy, I should say, when a white guy with no rhythm tries to learn choreography,
And breaks his arm on the dance floor.
and that's what the meme is. So let's look at it. Is it? It's.
The eyes are perfect. Wait, this move goes where? Okay, now I have to what? I wonder what the cat is really watching. What is it watching? Hold on.
It's a little black. It's a little white.
Hold on. I got
That's like me trying to learn
Sorry.
TikTok videos. Are you kidding me?
Hurry up before it's banned.
Or sold to Microsoft?
Are we done on the meme of the week?
I thought it was
Okay.
cute.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we are.
The eyes are perfect.
Production. All right. Next, we play our game of yes or no. You know what we're getting ready to do here. America, we encourage you to do it. It's called I'd Swallow That. I have learned so much about these hosts.
Oh, Lord.
And mostly it's shocking, and it has put me into therapy. I'm in therapy now every week about what I've learned about what power does in Lakeland, Florida.
Congratulations to you.
Yes, exactly. Our hosts are getting ready to be asked 4 questions, and if they agree, they're going to take the shot. We have shots here. And if they disagree, they don't touch the shot. Aaron, Power, you have something to shoot with. Aaron's in sobriety. Let me get that out of the way. You're doing water. Power, what are you doing? I'm curious.
This week, we're going to call this vodka in a bottle.
All right. And another sobriety
They're rubbing
girl.
you the right way.
That's like
Got it.
vodka in a bottle for pride events when you walk down the street with your water bottle.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. A pride event. Doesn't
Yeah.
that bring you back? I haven't thought about
They'll be back.
pride event.
They'll be
All the
back.
way back to
Everyone's working on their costumes.
Girl,
It's
I
gonna
remember
be
being in the
fierce.
convertible with the water bottle. It wasn't water.
All right, so everybody's ready. Let's play I'd Swallow That. All right, question number 1. I'd swallow that. I like femme guys.
Sure. They're not my favorite, but I like them.
So I've got this right. Josie and I are the only ones that didn't take the shot.
Well, she's a lesbian, first of all.
Okay.
Josie kind of is a femme guy.
There is proof to that statement.
Oh, you're right.
Love you,
Yeah,
Josie.
right.
Love you.
I feel like Josie hasn't put her shot down. She's still thinking about it. She's like, do I like femme guys?
No.
Let me clarify.
It's because I'm not trying to think too much about the question. Okay, it's like, I'm just.
First reaction.
First reaction.
You breathe it, you do it.
I like men that are in touch with their feminine side. I like men that aren't afraid to cry and love and be tender. And if that's feminine, I'm 100% in. But as far as flaming guys, I'm not really attracted to them, but I like them just fine.
Aaron, you took the shot. That's actually, that kind of surprised me a little. You like femme guys.
I mean, it was in a general sense. I always have exceptions to every rule, and I used to think that I was really into femme guys. Then it turned out I actually just wanted to be one. So
that makes sense.
That is a good joke. I love that joke.
No, it's true.
And Power, tell me about that, because, and here's the reason why I asked Power. I constantly poke at Power. Power has this this image in social media about he's this and he's this and this, and you look at basically naked pictures of him 5 out of 7 days of the week, and they're drawing these pictures of him shirtless and very masculine images, and now we find out, no, you like femme guys?
Okay, so I also have to clarify. No, I don't have a thing for femme guys. I actually like masculine guys. However, I used to be very anti-femme guys, and my sexual exploration has taken me to different heights and different places. So I enjoy a certain type of femme guy. I like a femme guy that is still strong, a little bit bitchy, a little bit cunty, and still sexy. That's the type of femme guy I like. But if you're yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like another version of me. I guess another version of me. But if you're like, I've been in cruising spots where I've walked up to a guy that has been like he looks really masculine and really butch, and as soon as we start touching each other, the first thing that he says, and I'm like, oh, girl.
Bye.
I was going to ask you, is it toxic? For me, I have to say I'm just not into a feminine male persona. Is that toxic masculinity on my part to say that so flatly? Or
not by itself, but it's rooted in that, and something like that, is a possibility. But I don't think inherently that statement is toxic. But
I don't think it's bad that you say you're not attracted to it, but I think it's bad to femme shame somebody.
Oh, well,
and I don't think that's what you did.
No, I wouldn't do that.
I would never femme shame somebody,
No, I
but I don't want to chase a femme queen.
Yeah, I just don't want you blowing me. That's all.
I think that when we get to a point where, right now we have to be very, very careful, because we're living in a cancel culture society.
Yeah. Call out
now
cancel.
everybody wants to vilify everybody for everything, and I am very staunchly against. I mean, I will vilify people for what I think is really wrong, but when it comes to shaming people or vilifying people based on what they sexually find attractive, if you don't find somebody attractive because they're too, we're gay men, and gay men like men, that's nothing wrong with that.
Well, guys, let's put it into something simple like food. It's like, do you like wheat bread or white bread? You like rye or pumpernickel?
Yeah.
I mean, you have preferences, and in human beings as well. If you ask me, the reason why I didn't drink is just simply because, well, when I'm with a man, if I'm going to be with a man, I have this idea of this man image, and I like him big and strong. I'm a big woman, so like, you got to be able to.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
You around.
Right?
Or something,
An observation about the cancel culture. Can't you feel that there's a pendulum that might swing too far? in terms of what's going on, and it spills over to even our preferences. Our preferences has nothing to do with, broad philosophical observations. It's just a preference, and we're going to probably swing too far before we swing back. And speaking of that, let's move to.
I think we're a preference.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Right.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think where a preference becomes problematic is when, like I can go into an ice cream store and say I'd like chocolate ice cream. Or I can go in and I can say, I hate butter pecan. I will never eat butter pecan. If you serve me butter pecan, I'm going to throw it. That's kind of starting to sound like it's not just a preference for chocolate. It sounds like you really hate butter pecan.
That's a great summary. And this question leads us, okay, so we talked about a femme partner. It leads us to a second question. Question number 2, and I'd swallow that. I actually don't have a type. You're taking the shot if you don't have a type. And I don't think anyone took the shot, including me. What do y'all think? So we're set in stone in terms of generally what we prefer. We might experiment, let me get that out of the way, but generally we know what we want.
I
correct?
very much have a type, and much like Josie's analogy in the last question, there are times when I really want a sandwich, and I am in the taste for a rye sandwich, and there's been times when I've taken any sandwich, but I definitely prefer the rye if that's my type.
Yeah, and to that analogy, I sometimes have a taste for raw sandwich.
You stupid.
Oh my God.
And sometimes I don't. I'll just leave it at that.
Lord, read between the lines.
Lord.
Got it. Anything else on this? I think we were almost basically unanimous on this subject. Interesting. I was
think
with.
I have a type, but it's a personality type, not really a.
Well, we always make the joke with you in Shag, Marry, Chop. Your angry sex. That's a type. You
definitely
that's my type.
Yeah. It was funny. I was at breakfast recently with a friend. And
You have friends?
Yes. I had sex with him. And we were sitting in the restaurant. 2 guys walked in, and he immediately said, "Oh, I know you like them." And he was absolutely right. Without even discussion, they walked in. He knew instantly I was attracted to that because of type.
My husband knows that for me too. Like when some guys walk in the room, he's like, He goes, "Do you want his number?" And I'm like, But the same for my husband. If our waiter's got big old tits and she's like slutty looking, he likes her too. So it goes both ways.
Wait. Please. It would be inappropriate not to explore the news fashion here as reported. So in other words, you've got big tits and you're slutty? Is that what you've just
Slutty
told?
looking.
I'm slutty looking.
Okay.
And you be proud of that, honey.
Yeah. Wear that badge. Woo. Okay. All right, let's move on. Question number 3. In the same kind of vein, there are only certain body builds I like. Only certain body builds. I'm going to drink that one. This is the first shot I've done tonight. Somebody tell me. You'll experiment. Your experimentation would override this answer of yes of this question. I like a certain
Big butts and I cannot lie.
Yeah. I definitely. I'm very, very, very decisive when it comes to the type of body types that I like, and I've fantasized about the type of guys I liked ever since I was like 6. I mean, I am very hard to get in a cruising situation because I'm very, very decisive. I know what I like. And I mean, down to the legs, to the calves, I really look at what I like. The only thing that would override that is a personality. I do also have a personality type that can override the body type. And if you're a certain type of badass, it does not matter basically how you look. I will
smart, well-spoken, well-traveled.
Billy Badass.
Well-traveled isn't a personality.
Right.
Somebody that has a little bit of cockiness to them, a little bit of narcissism. I like an asshole. And
Now, I'm curious. I'm curious there, Power. I've been out socially with your husband. We traveled to Cuba together on a cruise. Does your husband meet the standards of those definitions that you just gave?
Well, after I hate talking about my husband, but after 17 years together, you don't, all those things, kind of mellow out. But when I first met him, those were some of the things that attracted me to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's punched a few guys out at bars, and that turns me on. So I like him. Really
it turns me on, but I don't actually want him to do it.
Yeah. Not anymore.
And just out of curiosity, the same issue in terms of body types, does that apply for you not only in terms of people you met or you fantasize over, would it apply in porn? So if you go to Pornhub in terms of the specifics that you're searching in porn, does it apply there too?
Yeah. I'm very strict with what I like physically.
Power, give us if you can, off the top of your head, give us a name of somebody in porn that would meet the body build like that you enjoy.
Off the top of my head, there is a porn star. He's actually a straight porn star, but he started off gay. His name is TJ Cummings, and he is definitely my type. But he's kind of like big built, and I also like guys that are like skinny and lean and ripped. I love definition, and I love hot legs and great looking calves. Calves will do it for me anytime.
And true for trans and for lesbians, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you were going to watch porn, you have a type that you would be gravitating toward. I know frequently we will exchange pictures, for example, and it will be dick pictures of things that are being exchanged.
He's not looking
and
at
Josie
you, right?
all of a sudden goes, wait, and show the picture.
Yeah.
You all have the same kind of thing? You zero in on porn in that way that you gravitate?
You want to know something interesting? I always say this, that if you are not, I'm so decisive on what I like as far as my body type. I like the total picture. I like the total package. And I always say that if your dick is so big that it's rolling down the street, but your body ain't on point, I don't give a damn. I'm not one of these people that you can send me a dick pic, but the rest of you looks like shit. I don't.
What about your face?
If the total package ain't what I like, I don't care how big your dick is. It could be rolling down the street. Roll it back up and scooch.
Yeah, I don't think most.
I got no time for a dick pic. They all look essentially pretty much the same, and that thing could be attached to anything.
I'm the same. I'm very much with my sister Power on this whole conversation. But I will say, I don't want you to do this, but I want you to be able to pick me up and throw me across the room. Clarifying again, I don't want that to happen, but I want you to be able to do it. And my porn star, rest in peace, is Eric Rhodes.
Oh, I love
back in the
Eric.
day, bitch.
He was
I
a
had
friend
every
of mine.
DVD. Yes, me too. And super sweet and super shy and super tall and super big, and had a very bad crystal meth problem, like we were talking about. But wow, Eric Rhodes. Yeah.
Wow, I'm getting a
Absolutely.
history lesson in the porn world right now.
Let's move on to our final question, and I'd swallow that. And that is, I swallow that. I don't like people who are too over the top. Wow, we have
No clarification, huh?
No. Oh, Power's going to say, except for me.
Well,
Right.
it depends. Over the top tattoos, okay. Over the top muscles, okay. Over the top something, like over the top everything, no.
Yeah.
Well, I took it as somebody that carries too much. Their personality.
Oh no, I don't like that.
I don't. Too over the top, and like Misty said, if they have some, tattoos or piercings, or that's fine. Unless they look like Satan. But other than that, if they are too over the top in terms of their personality and they carry too many, no, baby. Only one star in this bed.
That part.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm really conflicted with this because, quite quite frankly, it's like, who am I to say what's over the top? You know, it's the same thing. If I put that kind of judgment out into the world, I'm expecting it in return. And I would probably admit that, you know, some folks have said that I'm a little over the top. But what the hell does that even really mean? You know, why? Because I'm passionate, because, you know, because I'm bold, because maybe I'm a little aggressive, who knows what it is? Maybe because I have personality, you know? And I tread lightly in that who's over the top, you know? I'm not the judge.
I'd like to answer, Josie. Okay, so I think that when the question is asked, when you just said, who am I to say? You are you. And basically the question really refers to what is over the top for you. So we're not talking about a broad over the top. We're talking about, do you like somebody that's too over the top for you? Somebody that's too over the top for you. It may be different for me, but for you, you have a certain standard of what you might consider okay.
Yeah, so some of them slip through the cracks. I ain't gonna lie, you know. Some folks who seem a little over the top, whatever that is to me, you know, it's case by case in the moment. You know, maybe I'm not in the mood for over the top. You know, I don't know. That's the thing. It's kind of just like living in that moment and taking each person case by case.
You know, a lot of times for me, I zero in on that phrase that's being defined here as drama-filled.
Yeah.
For me, that is the over-the-top definition broadly of a person. If you're full of drama, you are too much for me. You're over the top. Two examples of that to draw contrast, and you know, always the joke about RuPaul's Drag Race and the Ru Queens. Having so much exposure to them, Willem was always over the top to me. Always. No matter what it was, he was over the top on whatever subject, and it was always agitating to me. And he would try to make the joke, which I always appreciated, but it was too much virtually 100% of the time in every single subject, in every single action, in every single breath of the oxygen in the room. Contrast that to Bianca Del Rio. Bianca Del Rio is over the top in terms of the comedy focus of the poke. She would roast me, destroy me. I would laugh along with her. But the moment she wasn't in that situation, it stopped. It was highly professional, was not over the top. One is a response in one way.
One is appropriate.
Exactly. And that's how
it's filtered.
Look at it. Let's move on out of I'd Swallow That. I have drank almost nothing tonight, which means probably y'all are not going to be nearly as good as I was hoping for.
I don't think Josie drank any of them.
Yeah.
No drink for you.
Yeah.
Let's move into a celebrity hot topic that we want to talk about tonight. And our celebrity hot topic is kind of starting from a political point of view, which is interesting for our celebrity hot topic. We want to go back to AOC's speech on the House floor. She brought us to a complete stop this week over the fight and conversation that took place with Congressman Yoho. The AOC Yoho fight over misogyny and identity shaming in politics and the LGBT community. Before we begin and frame this conversation, watch this.
In front of reporters, Representative Yoho called me, and I quote, a fucking bitch. These are the words that Representative Yoho levied against a congresswoman. Representative Yoho decided to come to the floor of the House of Representatives and make excuses for his behavior. And that I could not let go. I could not allow my nieces, I could not allow the little girls that I go home to, I could not allow victims of verbal abuse and worse to see that excuse, and to see our Congress accept it as legitimate.
In the LGBTQ community, this is how it works. Fucking bitch. Fish. He's a bottom. He's too fat. He's too femme. Why is anything considered female so bad in our culture, both LGBT and beyond? Why are identities that are outside our perceived standard shunned? And that's what we want to talk about in terms of how AOC and Congresswoman Yoho begins to help us frame it. Because what we watched on the floor, on the Capitol steps first, and then on the floor of the House, is exactly what we face when we were not in COVID every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday night in LGBT America. So what do y'all think about what we're watching with AOC and Congressman Yoho and how it applies to the LGBTQ community?
I mean, listen, guys, first off, the fact that AOC has the courage to come out and put this right on the table, it's not okay. We're not going to continue to let it be okay. Women are not subservient. We're not subhuman. We are human. For many years, we fought for equal rights. I get the distinction between, physically between a man and a woman, but the reality is that women, there's female on female misogyny, there's male on female misogyny, there's anyone on women misogyny, and we see this every single day. Enough is enough. The little girls are watching, and we're not going to continue. I am not going to be that woman who says it's okay to continue treating us as subhuman to anyone anymore.
Other thoughts?
It really struck me when AOC made the comment about how every congresswoman, every woman in Congress right now has experienced that situation. If not that specific situation, something like it. And when I first watched that speech, it gave me chills, because not only is that undeniably true for every woman in Congress who has fought to get to these positions of power, but for every woman. And that's whether they're a cisgender woman or a trans woman. It's another one of these things that kind of overarches all these other ways you can be marginalized. Being a woman, being a Black woman, being a trans woman, being a queer woman. It's another layer, again, that compounds onto the experience that you walk through in the world. And nothing taught me how real misogyny was and toxic masculinity was until I transitioned and realized how differently I was treated once I started to pass as male. Completely different.
In a better way for you or a worse way?
In a weird way for me, but in primarily you could say a better way. All of a sudden I was given this male privilege that I never asked for, and that I knew was there my whole life. But I could never have really truly understood the depths that it goes to until I started being kind of treated as one of the guys by other men, and saw really behind closed doors the way that men talk about women, the way that men disregard and dismiss women. And it's just completely normalized. I thought that I was already kind of one of the guys before, when, my guy friends thought I was a cool lesbian. I was never one of the guys. Once I suddenly became accepted into certain groups as one of the guys, it was shocking and it was stomach turning to see how normalized it is to hate women.
I want to reframe that observation just slightly. In the LGBT community, studies show that men in our community, in simple gender terms, male, female, that men outnumber women in the LGBT community, at least in polling identification. And among men, gay men, the vast majority of gay men identify, if they had to choose, if they were not versatile, if they had to choose one role or another, they choose bottom. And if you identify top or bottom among gay men in the LGBT community, we bottom shame. And because of bottom shaming among gay men, are we not doing the exact same thing that males do in the straight community to women? We are shaming the female version or the perception of female among gay men. Aren't we doing the same thing? And why do we do that?
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, it's the same thing, but no, it's not, because I have been bottom shamed, and I have also been treated with misogyny as when I was being perceived as a woman. And being bottom shamed is fucking bullshit, and it sucks. But it will never, ever, ever come close to comparing to what it is like to walk through the world in our society every single day, being treated as a woman and being questioned for every single thing that you know or that you do or you say as a woman. It will never come close. And the fact that when we think about misogyny in the gay community, we go straight to bottom shaming and not how gay men are misogynist themselves, that in itself, I think,
that is true.
Problem.
Do you think most gay men are misogynistic?
Yeah, I mean, I think they've all got those roots, just like racism. You know, we all were steeped in this stew of the society we live in, and it's built into our systems and our culture and our media. So yeah, I think we all have a little bit of that we need to unpack, whether we're male, female, or otherwise.
Yeah, and I'd like to echo what Aaron is saying about this, because it's taught in our homes when we're children, the way we watch our fathers treat our mothers, the way we watch our mothers accept the behavior and the treatment, the way women treat each other when we choose to be catty and coy, and when for ourselves, it's really it's a projection of how we think of ourselves when we look at women and women who deal with depression later on in life after they've given their entire lives to their families and to their children and to their husbands, and then they get older, the families leave, and now you have this woman in the middle of her life depressed, and it comes from this shame. You talk about bottom shaming. It's this hatred of herself. And then now we're seeing it goes so deep. And so we're when Aaron's talking about it's ingrained in our system, it's a part of the fabric of who we are. And until we are able to see it there and go to the source of this, it will continue to show up. And I guess you're saying bottom shaming is something like misogyny. So it starts to mutate into society, and it starts to express itself in different ways through all of our communities.
Power, I want to pull you in.
Yes, she tried to talk a couple times.
So I can't, my experience cannot negate Aaron's or Josie's experience. So I with much respect to what they're saying, my experience is totally different, and I have a little bit of a different view. As a gay man growing up, I actually, in my experience, think I'm the opposite of misogynistic, because I think I actually grew up very close to my mother and associated in my mindset more with the girls that I hung around with, my sisters, and than the guys. I always seem to get, and I'm sure a lot of gay boys feel this way or have the same experience. We always seem to get along more with the girls, to love the girls, to hang with the girls, be very close to our mother. And so my mindset was always more connected to a woman's mindset in terms of the people that I hung around and that inspired me. I wasn't really raised to think that women were less than me. As a matter of fact, I had a horrible father. So my view of males, of men, is not good. If anything, I really connect more with women than with men. That's my experience. Also, when it comes to the bottom shaming, I think you can't really equate the two, bottom shaming and misogyny, because when we as gay men bottom shame, and when I say we, I don't mean me, but I mean we. When we bottom shame, it is really about when you get to the root of it, it's really about shaming somebody for being thirsty. When you bottom shame somebody, it's because you're trying to say, girl, you're a bottom. Yes, you're a power bottom. You want all that dick. It's not so much about connecting that person or comparing them to being a woman as it is basically slut shaming. Mm-hmm. Because you kind of compare being a bottom to being a slut. So when you read somebody for being a bottom, it's not because they're fish or they're a woman. I mean, we're all, as far as gay men, because we all call each other gay girl and this, that, and the other thing. So we kind of joke and call each other girl. So it's not really something that we are ashamed of as far as, oh, girl. But the bottom shaming is really, it really equates to slut shaming.
Power, we have to move on, but I want to. I'm sorry because we've been on this 12 minutes, but I want to challenge your observation just a minute in terms of just really quickly in terms of what you just said. Misogyny, I've read a number of things on the justification of misogyny, of where it comes from, is because females are penetrated. Generally, it is a domination issue, the masculine dominating the feminine. Isn't it the same thing here? That along with what you just said in terms of the slut shaming, that in the gay community, among gay men, it is because the bottom is being penetrated. And as a result, it is what you just said in slut shaming, but it is because you're being dominated.
The submissive role.
The submissive role.
I would defer this to Aaron or Misty or Josie, but I mean, I think that misogyny is a lot more than penetration.
Yeah, and Aaron,
so that's why. Yeah, so I think that it's not really a fair equation. I would defer to their expertise on that, however.
Yeah.
If I can add one, I know Al's trying to switch topics, but let me add one quick statement. The gay community, much like Power said, little gay boys are usually close to the mother, but yet in bars, I have worked in many, many bars for the last 25 years where the gay men were complaining that women were coming in and they did not want women, even if it was a drag show. Like, I don't want them, she shouldn't come here and do her bachelorette party. So that has happened. And after I have transitioned and started to pass as female and get recognized in public as being a woman, it's amazing the way men treat us. Some of it is very good. I get my doors open for me all the time and people say, ma'am, and people are nice. But one time I was on a plane and I'm not as well traveled as Al, but I love traveling. I've been to many places around the world. But I know how to fly and I know what seat is mine. So I'm in my seat on my plane, my right row, my right letter, and this guy comes up and he's like, excuse me, you're in the wrong seat. I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry. I think I'm in the right. And again, in women, we always apologize. I'm so sorry, but I think I'm in the right seat. And he's like, no, you're in the wrong seat. I'm 12A or whatever. And I'm like, no, this is 10C or whatever. I don't remember the exact seat. And he's like, excuse, we need to call a flight attendant, blah, 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 blah. And she came over and looked at my seat and she's like, no, she's in the right seat. But he wouldn't hear me because he was right, I was wrong. And he was mansplaining the whole situation and how I was in the wrong seat. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I think I'm in the right seat. And he was like, complete wrong.
So,
I'm sorry, Aaron. I apologize, but I have to move on. AOC did us all an honor in bringing this
okay, you're
to.
being misogynistic. I'll just
You're a guy. How is he going to do that to a guy?
Besides, you're a dude. So, AOC did us a
we'll
real
talk about
favor
the spectrum of gender next week.
in terms of bringing it to everyone's attention and not accepting being called on the Capitol steps a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
She did us all
Very well
solid.
spoken.
We want to recognize one of our sponsors tonight, and that is the Best Western here at Wilton Manors in Fort Lauderdale at I-95. The Best Western is our host of many of our guests, and our hosts that come to It's Happening Out had a conversation with the hotel this week, and Aaron and Power, they are tearful and wistful of wanting to know, when are you coming back? Do you have a message I can pass on to them?
As soon as I can get there.
Okay. All right. Great.
I told you I would stand in. I'll do the staycation.
Yeah.
You guys, you want me to come over? I'm,
Yeah, they definitely.
Let me see what this VIP treatment looks like.
Right, exactly.
Well, you have to shave your head and pretend you're me, and then
And change your color. Anyway, Best Western Wilton Manors in Fort Lauderdale, we thank you very much as sponsors of It's Happening Out. We also remind you that we're broadcasting from our permanent set here in the middle of the World AIDS Museum and Educational Center on the heart of Wilton Drive. And if you haven't been here to South Florida, to Wilton Manors, Strike 4, to Wilton Manors and Fort Lauderdale, it's something you've got to come and see. Because we are literally in the heart of the gayest place on planet Earth. And finally, one of our sponsors is Concepto Modern Living. They've helped us build this set here right in the middle of this living museum. We're moving on to something our production team pays a lot of attention to, and that is interesting things in a segment we call Best Thing of the Week. And speaking of what we were just talking about in terms of tops and bottoms among gay men, this week, the best thing of the week is called Bottom Brunch. Let's see what this is all about. Watch this.
I can't wait to try this new brunch place.
Me too. It says here on their menu that they take their French toast, soak it in butter, stuff it with cream, deep fry it, top it off with cinnamon apples steeped in bourbon, and finish it off with a side of low-fat syrup.
Yum, that is so healthy. I can't wait.
Hurry.
Wait.
What?
I can't go to brunch.
Why?
Oh dear God. I know. I'm bottoming tonight. I can't go to brunch now. I should have stopped eating 36 hours ago.
No! We're going to brunch. It's a pillar of gay rights, damn it. Hey ladies, this is Matt. He'll be joining us today.
Hey guys, what's up?
It's okay. He's bottoming tonight.
Oh, good for you.
Hello ladies, welcome to Bottom Brunch. My name is Brandon, I'll be your server. I wanted to let you know about our Filthy Pig special today. It is roasted wind on a bed of emptiness, covered in a light breeze puree, topped with absolutely nothing at all.
Oh wow, that sounds delicious. I'll have that.
Do you have any vegan options?
We have a picture of a kale salad that you can look at for 15 minutes.
Delish. I'll have that.
Ladies, that was delicious. I, for one, am completely not full.
I'm truly unstuffed. Thank you all so much for letting me be a part of your brunch. I really think I'm ready for tonight. Are you f***ing kidding me? F*** shit, I'm out.
Hey! Where are you going?
Chipotle, and then to Shake Shack, and Dollar Pizza on 47. This shit, I'm out of here.
Dessert ladies?
Chef Josie.
I thought when Elizabeth Warren dropped out of the
Please
presidential
do
race.
not come to Bubbles and Pearls when we open for brunch, okay, boys, ladies, or whatever.
Girl, I've bottomed my whole life and I've never starved myself to bottom. You just douche right before.
This is really like
Fiber supplements, y'all.
not a problem that I'm.
Or me either, actually. Let's move on to a segment
out of
that
my
we
area
call
of
"What's
expertise."
on Your Mind." Each week, I ask the host to tell us in 30 seconds what is important to them this week. And everyone, I just tell you in advance, I've got to be very strict tonight at 30 seconds. So if I raise my hand, that means we're at 30 seconds, and I'm going to have to stop you. So please, we want to know what's on your mind using our rule of 30 seconds. And Aaron, let's start with you. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is what I was about to say at the end of the last segment. So both of those things were true. That slut shaming, bottom shaming is misogyny. It is also slut shaming. Slut shaming is also misogyny. There are power dynamics that are associated with penetration or with dominance and subservience, if you will, that are associated with topping and bottoming. It all is rooted in these misogynistic ideas and values that we all grew up with. Did I hit my 30 seconds?
You did it, and a very clever way to continue the conversation. Congratulations. And Power, what's on your mind this week?
Well, what was on my mind, I'm going to tear up now and introduce this. So I want all our viewers to chime in, and as far as our hosts as well. Should we or should we not cancel Ellen? That is the dilemma. That is what everybody's talking about this week. And I want to know what everybody's thinking about that. Did she mess up? Yes or no? And is she deserving of being canceled by our community after everything she's done?
I don't think she's deserving of that.
It's certainly a fascinating conversation that's going on. Misty, what's on your mind this week?
What's on my mind? Oh, I remember. COVID-19. Okay, so a very, very, very close friend of mine just captured the COVID-19 virus, and she is a female and a cis woman, and she's being shamed by everyone she knows, and she is a manager in a restaurant. And I'm like, girl, it's not your fault. Like, no one has ever shamed anyone for catching a flu or the cold. This is an airborne disease, and we're doing precautions if we can and trying our best. I think COVID-19 shaming is wrong if you're wearing a mask and protecting yourself.
Thank you. And Chef Josie, what's on your mind this
Well,
week?
on my mind, I have the best friend in the world. He's black and he's white. He has floppy ears. He weighs about 80 pounds, 4 legs. And I swear, ever since I've laid eyes on him, he's brought nothing but joy to my life. He is like my emotional support. And today is his birthday. So happy birthday, little hero, the pup. You make my life and my world so much brighter. You have no idea.
That's cute. That's cute.
Another 30 seconds.
Cute. All right, great. All right, we've talked about AOC and Congressman Yoho. Let's talk about some of the other headlines that took place in the LGBT community this week in a game that we call Saved by the Bell. And again, we're going to do 60 to 90 seconds, and I have a bell here, and anybody can say whatever they want in discussing the topic, and when we get to the end of our time, I let everybody know that's it in terms of time with the bell, and then we move on to the next topic. Everybody ready with the news of the LGBT community this week? A lightning round of the LGBT topics in the news in 60 to 90 seconds on each topic. So here we go. First topic, Madonna. Madonna was in the news this week as she supported COVID-19 conspiracy theorists who believed that Trump's quack doctor was right.
Well, I talked about this last week.
Demon sperm?
I spoke about this last week. That was my what's on your mind. And the week before, we had celebrated Madonna for for her stand for the gay community and the fact that she owes Russia $1 million. But then the week after, yes, she got red, and she was supposed to get red. She was committing foolishness, and so she got the backlash. Yeah.
I'm glad the post was taken down and blocked.
You know, age. I guess this is what I have something to look forward to. I don't know. Craziness as you get older.
I spend my whole life late for tomorrow. I don't have the energy for this.
You're right.
Dementia has set in early for this celebrity.
1,000 people are dying a day, and we're talking about demon sperm and alien DNA and conspiracy theories and the craziness.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Let's save by the bell there.
Yeah.
Our next headline this week. Domino's in New Zealand dropped a promotion where a woman called Karen got a free pizza after an angry backlash.
Can we have more details about this story?
I thought we were waiting to see video or something.
That's it.
Did she get the pizza because her name was Karen or because she got mistreated? I don't know.
No, I guess they put this ad out to basically say, oh, if you're a Karen but you're a nice Karen, then call in and we'll give you a free pizza. It was a joke they were trying to make a joke out of how Karens always want to call and get free things and be entitled to things. But people were not understanding that the joke was to make fun of Karens. They thought it was in actual real support of.
Well, if it's
Karens.
free, it's for me. Hallelujah.
In the same vein,
I mean,
what do y'all?
Domino's marketing. But.
In the same vein, Domino's promotion backlashed on them. Literally. In the same vein, what do y'all think about all of the social media to Power's challenge about calling Ellen talk show Karen? Same kind of thing. What do y'all think?
Calling her talk show Karen?
Yeah. That's it's appearing left and right. We reported it on in Queer News tonight.
Well,
Yeah.
I
think Power was saying it earlier. We got to be real careful this whole cancel culture that we're. Look, man. Ellen has been a huge contributor to our community for a very long time, and before we just we have to really start waiting a second before we nail people to the cross.
I mean, I think we can. I think there has to be a space for accountability, not just straight to the cancel. But that being said, the accountability has to be there.
You opened the Ellen conversation, so Power, I'm going to give you the last word.
Well, I was going to say this reminds me of another bad situation in my home country of Trinidad and Tobago. Kentucky Fried Chicken put up an ad of a piece of fried chicken, and behind it was a shadow of a black fist. So I guess they were trying to say that their support for Black Lives Matter used it by putting up a piece of fried chicken, which in and of itself is racist.
Oh my goodness! Wow! My goodness! All right, let's move on to our next story in the LGBT community this week. Beyond he and she, 1 in 4 LGBTQ youths use non-binary pronouns now.
I think that's beautiful.
1 in 4.
1 in 4.
That's awesome.
Well, that's really interesting.
It's kind of like the whole.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Josie.
No, it's really interesting because today I was doing a photo shoot, and the photographer said to me, I know I've been calling you her, and I've been saying she, and I didn't ask you what pronouns, you identify. And I was like, whoa. I don't know. I go, okay, I get it. I know we're in this world.
I'm curious, did you consider that a compliment or not a compliment?
No, I just said, well, I'm she,
No,
is it the haircut?
Question.
That's what I said.
No.
Is it the haircut?
That's not my question. My question is, that is a new experience in America of using pronouns and being asked which pronouns are your preference. Did you consider that a compliment to you?
No, I didn't consider it a compliment. And I then actually it made me think about, wow, we're moving into a new environment.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think I might want to add that to my political conversation. And is that are we going too far? And now
He should have asked you that. That's a good thing.
Pre-qualify every single person I come into contact with? I mean,
well, you're pre-qualifying by calling people he or she automatically.
You can't assume.
If we normalize asking everyone, even Al, even Power, even people who look just like the cisgender person that they are, even no matter who it is, if we normalize asking everyone, then nobody has to be made to be dysphoric, and nobody has to be to feel like they're outed.
Remember, as we transition into our next story, this is a very political conversation because this scares white Republican Trumpsters to their very core. What happened to Josie in that story. Our next story in Saved by the Bell is Crema. It's a gorgeous lesbian graphic novel that has people very excited. What do y'all think about this new graphic novel?
Well,
Josie.
Well, we need all the representation we can get.
Give me a copy. I'll read it.
I'll look at it.
Yeah. Graphic novel sounds exciting.
My husband will like it.
We need all the queer representation we can get. We really do. And I'd love to get to a point where we have so much of it that we get to say things like, oh, I love this and I didn't really love that. And we can critique things and not just say, yay, it's gay. You know, we're getting there, but
it wouldn't be something I would read.
It would or would not be?
No, child.
But I'm not gonna like buy the book, but I would definitely read it. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
send us
look.
a copy.
If I'm at Josie's house and it's on the coffee table, I'm totally gonna open it.
A trans pastor this week came out to her congregation. This was in Canada, in an amazing sermon. And during the sermon, the pastor, we're showing you video of it, came out as trans. Her congregation then turned around in a vote of 58 to 53, voted to fire her.
This is a terrible story. I grew up in the church, and a lot of times I've been around people that were of LGBTQ experience in the ministry, praise and worship team, youth leaders, etc. And as long as they were closeted and as long as they never discussed it, the church looked the other way and just considered them sensitive. He's not gay, he's sensitive. But as soon as you admit it out loud, you're something, you're ostracized. And she came out as a woman, and they were like, bye. Because I'm like, wait a minute, how is she so fish that she's unclockable? Like, but nobody knew she was trans. They just thought she was a very sensitive male. And that's
And as
sad.
somebody that grew up in the church, and please hear me when I say this, because I know it's not going to be popular, but I understand their position, but I do not agree with their position. Let me make that clear. I understand where they're coming from because I can understand people of faith and how they think, because that's where I grew up. But I do not agree because I have now been a little bit more enlightened than them. And I think, like Misty said, it's a terrible, terrible story, and it's a shame.
Would you agree, Power, that enlightened, the word that you just did, is education, and education overcomes ignorance? Would you agree with that statement? Yes?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Anything else on this story on the trans?
I thought Canada was more open-minded.
I think coming out is education. So hopefully, out of those 58 to 53, whatever, hopefully there was a couple of members of that congregation who maybe now will have a better relationship with their trans kid or their trans sister or whatever.
Right. News in the forward coming up next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, the world's first ever Pan-African Pride has been announced for August. And it's going to be a continent-wide celebration of the LGBTQ community.
I bought some new shirts for the event. You know, I heard about this a couple of weeks ago, and so I went online. You have to check them out. I was going to wear it tonight, but I'm saving it.
I think this is awesome.
I'm scared for them.
For Africa to do this?
Yeah.
Why is that, Power? Explain that.
Well, because, I also come from a country that is, Trinidad and Tobago is very homophobic. I know that mindset in Africa as well. And they are very, very brave for doing this because in our culture, this is something that is really, really not looked well upon. I mean, they burn people in tires. They cut you up with machetes. They throw lighter fluid on you and burn you in the streets for being gay. And that's how I grew up. Now, maybe there's a brave new world that I'm not aware of, and if so, more power to them. But being that my experience, not me personally, but being my experience as a West Indian, I also, I'm afraid for them. So I'm wishing them luck.
Yeah, but that I totally hear what you're saying there, Power. It goes into the trans story as well. it's this courage and it's this boldness and it's this fight and this visibility that we put ourselves, we have to be willing to die for our cause. And that is the reality. That's what continues to push our conversation forward.
Yeah.
Well, just like what we're watching in Poland, the foreign minister has called for Poland to become an LGBT-free zone. Let that wash over you. What we're watching in Russia and powers concerned in Africa. But the only way to overcome issues and situations like that is to stand up, and standing up is voicing it. And we congratulate Pan-African Pride as being the first major step to try to do that. We move out of Shag, Marry, Chop, we move out of Saved by the Bell to another game. And it is a game that we call Shag, Marry, Chop. It is a game that asks our host who and why and what they would want to do with the three different people that we are getting ready to introduce you to. So let's play Shag, Marry, Chop. In honor of the hurricane that passed us by this week and here in Florida and up the West Coast, we're twerking in the rain, and that's our theme this week for Shag, Marry, Chop. Get it? Hurricane, storm, rain. Here are our three choices this week. The first is Julian Serrano, as you see here. And then Abel Perella. Ooh, Abel can twerk. And then Guilen Del Lemmy.
Speechless.
Who would like that? Aaron, let's start with you. Who would you shag? Who would you marry? And who would you chop?
Oh, jeez. This reminds me of when you're on Grindr and a guy says that he's a top, but then all he like, girl, I'm feeling like
sure you are,
take
girl.
each other's nails. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, so I guess if I have to take one for the team, I'm going to shag Julian with the snake because I like how he handles that big snake. Maybe we can get a third one to help us out with the snake part of things. I'm gonna go ahead and oh man, all right. I think I messed up. I think I got to start over already. I'm gonna marry Julian. I guess I'll shag Abel to get him out of the way because he's cute or whatever. And the other one's got to go. Julio's getting the job.
All right, very good. And Power, let's move to you now. Who are you shagging?
Okay, so you guys.
We can't hear her.
I'm going to shag Abel, and I actually wasn't gonna. I was gonna chop him, but I changed my mind at the last minute because I just think he gives a little. He gives Trish. Trade plus fish. So
wow, that's a good word.
So I'm gonna shag him. I'm going to most definitely marry the other child, which I don't have the three of them up now, so I can't see. But the one that was doing all the dips and flips and splits and this, that, and the other thing. Oh yes, baby. Him and I are getting married. We're walking down the wedding aisle because, honey, if he can do all that, we can perform together down. And the other one, I wouldn't throw him. Yeah, that one up there with the yes, baby, yes, him. He is getting married. We're getting married. And the other one with the snake, no, he can still get it. But since I have to choose one to chop, I'm gonna have to chop him.
You know, I'm curious. Before we move to the table here in the studio, do you all agree twerking is fascinating, sexual, lovely? We love it. It bores us to tears. What do y'all think about twerking?
Depends who's twerking.
I don't know how to do it.
Right.
Have y'all been with many people that you go, oh, please twerk for me because I love it so much?
No, that's only in the videos when I'm watching the videos.
I've with them in real life, not been with them. But there was a guy that used to come to Trinity Palace. I was like, oh my God, twerk for me. I'd bring him to the dressing room and make all the girls watch because he could twerk.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't sit there and ask the bitch to twerk. I don't want to wait. I don't want to waste time dancing when we could be splacking, but at the same time, you know, if they can work and they can move it, that's still a turn on to me.
Yeah.
Can I mansplain what you just said? I wouldn't ask a bitch to twerk. Is that what you said? I wasn't sure through our internet connection.
No, I don't want to waste time dancing. We can dance after we splat, honey.
Okay. All right. So now we move here to the table. Misty, tell us, who would you shag?
You know, I'm totally twinning with Power on this one. I am shagging the lips, Abel. To me, honestly, you guys, I'm looking at these and they just look like bottom boys to me, and there's nothing happening. I'm sorry, but something about his lips is very sexy to me. So that's getting a shag. The only reason I'm marrying what's his name, Guilo, is because he's 6'4". Yes, I did my research on this week's boys. But girl, once we get married, he is cutting that hair before we go down the aisle because he's got hair almost as long as mine. I mean, mine goes to my butt, if you guys don't know. But, honey, sorry. And much like Power, we could do shows together, darling. And Julian is my sister, so she's getting chopped. I've known her for like 8 years, so bye, bitch.
Yeah,
sorry,
bye,
love
bitch.
you. Love you, meaning you.
Oh,
right,
gosh.
Josie, who are you shagging?
This is like totally, you were talking about types earlier. These guys are totally not my type, okay?
Yeah, like femboys.
But I like them as friends, so, you know.
Julian is a sweetheart.
Yeah, so I figure we'll probably, well, I was going to like shag Julian because he just looks fun, you know. And I've been propositioned a few times, and whatever, you know. But I think that the person I'm marrying is going to be the boy in the middle. Yep, that one. Because I just like the way he moves. He has a really nice ass, and well, you know, if that's what we're doing, you know.
That's what we're doing.
Read between the lines.
And
Supply and demand.
The reality of it is that one. We're probably not going to really have that much in common, so I have to chop him.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's our game, Shag, Marry, Chop. We play it every week, and we invite you to join along with us. Before we end the show tonight, we want to introduce you to our sponsor, Jet's Pizza. Here in South Florida, the hosts and production are getting ready to enjoy their delicious Detroit-style pizza. And I have one here. We love their cauliflower pizza, and we also love their deep dish. Their corner deep dish pizza is really outstanding. They're around the country, but especially if you come into South Florida, you want to go to Jet's Pizza. So, and we thank them for...
Deep dish a bottom joke, or we moved on from that?
Yes. So before we say goodnight, we want to give the host one final opportunity to say goodnight for our first Wednesday in August of 2020. And Aaron, let's start with you.
Well, good night, gender fuckers, and everyone else who's still trying to figure us out. We're going to get there together, I promise. Good night to all the bottoms and the power bottoms and the self-yoga instructors and whatever else. Have a good night. We'll see you next week.
And Power Infiniti.
Well, good night, children. We have 3 months to go until it's time to vote. So get energized, get prepared, get ready so we can get that bitch out. And stay tuned every single week right here. Keep it locked and it's happening out.
Locked.
And Misty Eyes.
Yes, it is August, and we're back in school. This semester, I'm taking 6 classes, and Mom's going to be overwhelmed, but wish me luck.
Good luck. And to our friend running for mayor of the gayest place in planet Earth, Chef Josie.
Well, good night, neighbors. It's been really great getting to know you guys this week and continuing to, receive messages. Lots of people are following me on social media these days, and so I just want to say thanks also for being a part of what it is I'm trying to create in this world. So thank you guys so much. It's so important that you continue to stay at the table. So again, thank you for choosing to join us every Wednesday and be involved and be at the table and be involved in this conversation. In the meantime, just stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive. See you next week.
Thank you, and you're doing a great job in your campaign here in Wilton Manors. America, before we say goodnight, we want to tell you we have queer news tonight, every night at 7 o'clock. I've been doing it all week. Misty is here. Aaron Darr has returned back out of a 4-month quarantine for a medical issue, and we invite you, especially tomorrow night. We have teased it up. We have done a very important interview with an RN here at Broward Health Imperial Point Hospital. There's been a major COVID-19 outbreak. 11 nurses and medical professionals, 2 doctors, and one of them died at the end of last week of COVID-19. And there has been an underground kind of medical revolt of whistleblowers. And we interview one of them talking about what is happening in our hospitals in COVID-19. You're going to find out how little testing is going on and how long it took to do any testing in our hospitals, the effect that it is having on our healthcare workers, and the effect that it has from our healthcare workers to the patients in the hospital. How little PPE is available, including gloves and wipes, and the fact that N95 masks are not being issued in major hospitals here in the gayest place on planet Earth. The interview and the review of what is going on is absolutely going to shock you. And the focus of the interview challenges the notion, do we care about our healthcare workers? And are they heroes? And if they are heroes, why are they being treated in the way that they're being treated? And we're going to do that tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on Q News Tonight. I just assure you, it is going to astound you what we have discovered. And then we're going to tumble that into 8 o'clock. Power Infiniti is one of our major hosts for Gay Town Hall, and we invite you to participate. 12 LGBT hosts from all over America, including Power, participating, and you can be the star by logging into Gay Town Hall at 8 o'clock live, and you can participate in a comment string live if you would like, or you can actually come on to the show via video. Live right in the show, and that's tomorrow night on Gay Town Hall. A lot is going on in the world. I know all of us are feeling the exasperation and the exhaustion of COVID-19. School's getting ready to come back, maybe. The president is getting ready to be reelected, maybe. The president is getting ready to be defeated, hopefully. And there's much, much, much more going on. Congress is getting ready to continue to evaluate what's happening to our economy and how that affects you in terms of rent protection and also unemployment. 40 million of you are still unemployed. There are so many issues going on in the LGBT community, and we're here every Wednesday night to talk about them, lighten the load a little, and we'll be here again next Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Because if it's important to you, LGBTQ America, it's important at It's Happening Out. Good night.